The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox is on Hulu. In 2007, Amanda Knox was studying abroad in Italy. She had no idea her dream would turn into a nightmare. Inspired by the actual events of her wrongful conviction and 15-year fight for freedom, watch the new Hulu original series, The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox. Now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
War Eagle, and welcome to another edition of Ever to Podcast. This is our regular get-together in audio format only here at E2C Network to catch you up on the latest Auburn news, topics, scuttlebutt discussions that's happening all across the Auburn family sphere, or what we call the Auburn experience. All about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. An easier way to say it, though, if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us in what we're going to be doing today on Ever to Podcast, episode 54. Today's date is August 20th, 2025 on a Wednesday, and I'm your host, as always, Kyle Loomis. On today's episode, we're going to be bringing you these particular Auburn topics. Certainly, we will be addressing the other big story of the week, not just the retiring, what we talked about yesterday of Cam Newton's jersey, but yes, we'll be talking about championships. We're also going to catch you up on some Auburn content that you may want to check out, that may not be aware of, some things to keep in mind that they're advertising right now. And we'll look at a few other things across the Auburn space today. But let's start off the show here acknowledging something. Today is National Radio Day. And the reason I bring that up, first of all, is radio is probably the grandfather or the father of what we do here, podcasting. And so I think that's an important thing. But this is not about us and what we're doing here, although that's an important thing too. We are also talking about being thankful and acknowledging not just the voice of the Auburn Tigers and what he does for the Auburn radio, Andy Burcham, but all of the voices that bring the Auburn story to the forefront. We're talking about currently Brad Law. We're talking about currently Britt Bowen. There are a plethora of others that have been able to. Jason Campbell is now a commentator on the radio with Andy Burcham. We have got a wide variety of men and women that bring the Auburn story to the forefront across the radio waves. So many of you even talk of it and even shared with us on our social media post about this, that you prefer to listen to the broadcast and sync it up with your TV, especially for football games. And I think that's a great way to do that if you want to take the time to do that. But just want to acknowledge and be thankful for all of the voices of the Auburn Tigers. And yes, of course, Andy Burcham, the voice of the Auburn Tigers. Let's get you going with the topic that I know a lot of you wanted me to discuss and talk about yesterday, but as you kind of saw, there was plenty other things to discuss. Here we are today catching up on the news that broke yesterday morning. Your Auburn football team, the program, the history of it has just grown by 7 times. No longer will the Auburn Tigers be known only as 2-time national champions of 1957 and 2010, but now the team will be known as a 9-time football championship program, claiming 1913, 1983, 1993, and I'm going a little bit out of order here based off what how I'm reading the written in this article, 1910, 1914, 1958, and 2004. So if we put those in order, if I can do this in a smart manner, 1910, 1913, 14, 1957, 1958, 1983, 1993. Wow, Kyle, get that out. In 2004 and now 2010. Your Auburn Tigers, 9-time national champions. This has sparked a lot of debate and a lot of discussion across not just the Auburn family, but across all of fandom. And certainly we have collected, I guess we shouldn't say collected chance. We have just, if you aren't aware, folks, of how rent-free you live in the Alabama fans' mind, just go look at some of the comment sections. We have cleared our roster of several of the obnoxious Alabama fans that find themselves to our content. That's not for them, so I don't even know why they're there, continuing to show why we live rent-free. If any team really, because every team's got a history of this pretty much, that's been competing for championships, if an Alabama person tries to say something to you about this, just walk away. Don't even give them the time of day. They have nothing to say here. Nothing to say. Their parameters for claiming national championships are even worse than this one. And there's already been several articles on yesterday written about that. So that's not just me saying that. So Here we are. I know you may have some feelings about this. Certainly, let me acknowledge this. I have had so much fun over the last few years making fun of the Alabama fans for just claiming, the Sisters of the Poor, naming them national titles and them claiming it. And certainly that does now have less sting in a usage and jokes. And so I do hate that in a sense. But let's be honest. That's making it about you. That's making it about me. You're disappointed that you don't get to hold that, have this high and mighty thing over their head, which it was for a while, and I acknowledge I did it too. And I will still do it to some degree because I still think there's a little bit of extra validity to ours than theirs. For one thing, we took time to wait and make sure this was the standard and made sure this is the right thing to do and didn't just do it to kind of create a facade or, and take advantage of that. But to me, this is not about us. This is not about you. This is not about the fans. This is not about some concept of you having some leg up to talk bad to your other team. This is about the players, the program, the coaches that needed to be honored in this way, that were deserving of that recognition, whether you agree with it or not. And so it's not about you. Some of you need to hear that. So I am thankful for this today. I am so glad that we are now the 9-time national champion Auburn Tigers, and so glad that we are doing this. Let me read a couple things for you, and then we'll move on. This is from athletic director John Koivun. I believe On3 broke the story first, and these are where these quotes comes from. So I'm addressing from that aspect. John Koivun said yesterday, for too long, Auburn has chosen the humble approach to our program's storied history, choosing to recognize only Associated Press national championships. Starting this fall, we made the decision to honor the accomplishments of our deserving student athletes, coaches, teams from Auburn's proud history. Our visible national championship recognitions now align, this is key, with the well-established standard used by NCAA official record book and our peers across the nation. Time, patience, research went into this, not just feelings and not just being able to have one-upmanship. This was actually something that was done in due diligence. Congratulations to every national champion team and Tiger of the Auburn football programs of history. Let's talk a little bit about content that you need to be aware of. Certainly our content. We'd love for you to continue to consume that, our podcast, our videos and stuff. But we like to give you the information that you need to know about things that you can get on War Eagle Plus and a variety of things. There's a new docuseries that is coming out on War Eagle Plus called Unspoken. It is a 3-part docuseries chronicling the 2010 national championship. This kind of coincides with the whole announcement of Cam having his number retired yesterday. Great marketing there. You're going to hear from people like Cam Newton, Nick Fairley, Gene Chizik, Gus Malzahn in this documentary series, and I think it's something that you want to check out. Episode 1 is going to debut Monday, the 25th of August, with episodes 2 and 3 releasing later in the fall. They have not set dates for that currently at this time. So it's a 3-part docuseries, so my guess is maybe once a month at this rate, August, September, and October. I'm just going to throw a guess and speculation out there. But you can get that only on War Eagle Plus. So if you are a subscriber to that, even at the base level, you should have access to that. We'd love to hear your thoughts about it if you are able to watch that starting next Monday. If you're listening to this right when this podcast episode comes out, let us know what you think about it because we'd love to hear some opinions. Speaking of content and podcast, there's a new podcast from Auburn basketball coming out, and it's not just available in video format on War Eagle Plus, but you can get it, from what I understand, wherever you get your podcasts. So by the way, when you're going over to subscribe to this podcast I'm going to tell you about, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already to E2C Network, The Auburn Experience. The Unguarded podcast, which looks like it's going to be led mainly by Keyshawn Hall, who seems quite the character of the current Auburn basketball roster. That episode debuted today, I believe, with the first episode of them just cutting up, having fun. I think associate head coach Stephen Pearl is one of the primary interviews on that from Keyshawn Hall. So go check that out if you haven't. It looks like something good that Auburn fans should be pretty aware of. And now I want to skip over as like a final note for you, just some recognition in an Auburn program, Auburn individual that we continue to need to be more thankful of and aware of. If you've heard of Auburn golf, men's golf specifically, you've heard the name Jackson Koivun, and not only what he does here as part of the Auburn golf team, so thankful that he's coming back yet again, but what he is doing even this summer in different things that he has had the eligibility to participate in related to the PGA and professional golf. Auburn is now got a Mark McCormick Medal Award winner in Jackson Koivun. It's given to the top male player each year in the World Amateur Golf Rankings, the WAGR. It's announced by the USGA, Golfing Association, I guess, today, actually. So another great honor for him. You throw that on top of some of the other things that he's gotten in the past. He swept the awards as a freshman for the collegiate things, the Heisman in the sense of that, and he's done so many great things. He's been a 2-time SEC champion, just adding to the list. What this gives him now is the opportunity, an exemption into next year's 126th U.S. Open and the 154th Open at Royal Birkdale. So this gives him an opportunity to continue to build his resume for when he chooses to go pro. Thankfully, though, Jackson Koivun is still an Auburn Tiger and will be here this year. Folks, get on board. We've already talked about the men's golf schedule on the podcast already, and we've got a clip on YouTube you should check out. Thankful to have Jackson Koivun here. Now, we want to remind you, as always, to hit us up on social media, whether you want to talk about something we discussed here, ask a question, drop a comment, suggest a topic, whatever. For here, anywhere else, direct messages on social medias are pretty much open. e2cnetwork@gmail.com is the email that you need to use. And I want to encourage you, if you're listening to this on a Wednesday, come join us Wednesday night, almost every Wednesday night. Auburn Family Night is there for you at 9 Eastern Time, 8 Central, a live call-in show where you take center stage, your comments, questions, and calls. Join us for that or catch the replay. We'd love to have you there in the live show as well. Thank you, though, for spending your evening, the afternoon, whatever it is when you listen to this. Episode 154. 54. We haven't made it there yet. 54 of the Ever to Podcast series. I'm messing that one up at the end. Thanks for being here, guys. I need to get out of here before I mess this up further. Until we talk to you again. War Eagle.